Friends, welcome to Sources classes. In this video, I will be talking about algebra, and today's topic is on vectors. So, for vectors, most of the basic things you know that this has direction and also a value. So here my main point is what is the idea of this structure. So for example, I'm going from P to point Q. So they are saying me the direction, but I'm coming from a farther point and it may go a little bit farther from Q. So that is the main idea of the vector analysis. The length of these particular vectors, we will mention it like this thing, where P to Q, if I mention it as QP, then it will be just a reverse of the given structure. Now, in order to be equality, the first another part is equal vectors if we are talking about. So equal vectors are the vectors where we can write them as in this way. So these are the two vectors. So they're only equal if they have same length. Along with that, same or parallel support. Now what do you mean by support here? So support is the line. The support is the line of unlimited health. Support equal to the line of unlimited length of which PQ is segmented. Okay, so the unlimited length of line which I was talking about, so this entire part, and PQ is actually resting on this, so this infinite line is called the support. Now, what is a zero vector or a null vector? If initial is equal to terminal point, that's it. So this is the official way of saying that initial equal to terminal point. Collinear vectors means vectors having the same or parallel support are called collinear. So this support concept is very important. So same or parallel support. Coplanar means a system of vectors said to be coplanar if their supports are parallel to the same plane. So coplanar is if supports are parallel to the same plane. So these are the very basic structural formation. Now, negative of a vector. Next concept is negative of a vector. So negative of a vector means the vector which has the same magnitude as the given particular vector A, but the opposite direction. So same magnitude but opposite direction, that's called a negative vector. We are going to call it like this. Next is reciprocal. Vector, so reciprocal of a vector having the same direction as of a given vector A, but the magnitude equal to the reciprocal of the given vector. For example, A equal to this is denoted by this thing, or rather say 1 by this. There is another concept coming to my mind, that is localized and free vectors. And free vectors. So a vector which is drawn parallel to the given vector through a specific point is called a localized vector. So parallel to a specific point is called a localized vector. For example, a force acting on a rigid body is a localized vector, as its effect depends on the line of action of the force. And if the value of a vector depends only on the length and direction and independent of its position, there is no difference on the position itself in the space, it's called a free vector. So we will be dealing with many free vectors unless and otherwise stated, and thus a free vector can be taken anywhere in space by choosing an arbitrary initial point. So by choosing an initial point, we can proceed. Okay, next thing we are going to discuss is about the algebra of the vectors. Okay, this I will be doing in the next video.